I've got a very strong feeling for Hibs, just the same way as I did for Hearts last week. Tam, yourself?
Yeah, no, I do. I fancy Hibs as well. I think I watched the game. I watched the Rangers Hearts game at the weekend, and I thought that Hearts were set up perfectly with Derek McManus. You know, they really nullified Rangers in the wide areas. I think that's Rangers' threat, particularly Gassama down that wide area, down that left-hand side. And if Hibs can just shut that avenue off, I don't think that Rangers have got a whole heap of creativity in their team. So, listen, I think it'll be goals in the game, and I think Rangers are capable of scoring. But I would agree with you. I'd fancy Hibs to go and win this cup tie.
Mick?
It just feels like the kind of end of day stuff at Rangers under Russell Martin. It really does. What I think is interesting is how Hibs approach it. I mean, I thought the Hearts game plan, going man for man last week, worked a treat. And I think the key to it might be keeping the game pretty dull for the first 25 minutes, half an hour, because the place is going to turn. I mean, I don't think turning into a basketball match is going to help Hibs really, because I think Rangers have got players going forward that can score goals. But if they keep it tight and keep it going as long as they can, imagine you get to half time, it's nothing. It's going to be an absolute bear pit. I mean, it's going to be there's going to be major toxicity in that stadium. So it's more about how Hibs go about it. I mean, Tal will know more than myself about Hibs play. Have they got it in them to play that kind of way? I don't know.
They're looking nice and aggressive, are they not, Tam?
Yeah. Listen, I don't think Hibs will change 3-5-2, and they'll get the wing backs forward. They'll get crosses in the box, and they'll go long when they need to go long. So. Yeah, no, I think Hibs can only play one way. I think they are aggressive. I think they are an aggressive side. And I think they'll try and get after Hibs, Rangers early doors with the two strikers going and pressing them at the back and trying to force mistakes. So, I think Hibs will go and start and try and win the game. I don't think the Hibs are going to sit in and try and keep it tight for 20-25 minutes. I don't think it's that kind of Rangers team. I've been in Hibs teams in the past where you go to Celtic Rangers and you're absolutely thrilled to get in it 0-0 after 25 minutes. So, I don't think this Rangers team is a quality side where you go and sit in. I think you go for them right away.
Yeah, I think you get in about them, harass them, and if they're their manager's saying that the players are scared, then I think just you go hell from leather right from the start. Very similar. Hearts took a grip of that game right in the early moments of it, dominated the early moments, and Rangers just didn't have a response in them. I think it'll be a very similar sort of game plan for Hibs at the weekend. So are we all going to back a Hibs win there?
I'll go Hibs win, yeah.
Incredible to say that, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I just can't see. I can't see a situation in Rangers get out of this. I mean, it looks at the end of the day stuff. So no, I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if Hibs go and get a result. Although I've not cooked up since about 2009, so I wouldn't be back to my tips.
And of course, the other kind of sideshow there, not a sideshow because it will become the main event. Andrew Kavanagh, the new Rangers owner, we expect to be at that game. We think he's flying into Glasgow tonight. So, you've got the game itself and then you've got the post-match. And I think from a Rangers fans' perspective, they're probably looking forward to the post-match more than they are the match itself.
Yeah, I think that makes a huge difference for Russell Martin, that the owner's going to be at the game. I think you can't really get a sense of it if you're in America or you're watching the TV. You can't get a sense of the poison and the vitriol going towards the manager.
Yeah.
And I think when you're sitting there and you're getting it in the neck for supporters round about you, I think that's a totally different feeling and sensation for him. So I think that if it doesn't go the way Rangers expect it to go, then I think they will pull the trigger after the game.
Right, the other games to look forward to starts tomorrow night, obviously, doesn't it, with Killie and St Mirren. I think that'll be a good game. I noticed, by the way, that Stephen Robertson had a little nibble at our columnist Chris Sutton today. Did you see that, Michael?
I did, aye. He took a wee bit of offence. What did Sutton say? So I wouldn't want to pay to watch this mob every week or something like that?
I wouldn't pay to watch this. It's just punt and run stuff.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we love Chris, but I thought he was a bit harsh. I think someone on a good side.
So they are.
Aye, and I think Kelly are decent and pretty well organised as well. They were not lucky last weekend. Obviously, a lot of draws, but I think St Mirren are pretty strong. I would fancy them to go and get a result, get to Hampden. Done a great job, Stephen Robertson. Listen, I don't think there's anything wrong with the way St Mirren play.
No, I think they're a decent side to watch, and they don't hang about. They do get the ball forward, But you know, it's all with the aim of trying to hurt the opposition, and I don't mind the way they play at all.
No. Listen, there's more ways to skin a cat. I mean, Pep ball dominated football for a number of years. You know, then with 4-3-3 and fake strikers, and there's nothing wrong with going 4-4-2 and going back to front, getting out to the wide man, crossing it in the box. It's Scottish football. It's no La Liga. You know, that's why guys like Stephen Robertson, Derek McManus, they know how to win games. They know how to win games in Scottish football, and that's how they've both got great records here. So no, I don't see anything wrong with the way St Mirren play.
Is he going to win this one, Tom? You backing St Mirren to get past Kelly away?
Yeah, I think they'll narrowly.
On that pitch?
I think they'll maybe narrowly get by, nick by them. But Kilmarnock showed at the weekend there that they're pretty hard to beat. But I think St Mirren might just nick it 2-1.
Mick?
Yeah, I'll go on with that. I think St Mirren. I think the middle of the park. I think St Mirren are just fierce. Middle of the park. I like Kelly Phillips, the monster in there. O'Hara, obviously experienced pro in there. Bacchus coming back. I like the middle of the park. They win a lot of balls in there. They make it life tough. Guys like monsters like Gogic as well at the back, and I've got guys up top who are a handful as well. Maybe don't score that many goals, but they're awkward to play against. They're physical and all that stuff. I think they're a nightmare to play against at Mirren. So I think they'll edge it as well. I say Kelly. I was impressed with Kelly at the weekend. I don't think they deserve much for the game, but they hung in there and they were in the game right to the end. They got their goal. They're a bit unlucky with the penalty, but listen, I think they've been pretty solid all season. But it's not going to be I don't think it'll be a high scoring game. I think it'll be a narrow win for St Mirren.
I think that one could go to penalties. I just have a feel for that. I think
thankfully
somebody's got the nightmare Friday night shift if that's the case. Do you know what? I'll take St Mirren just to edge it, but I'm not ruling out the possibility of that one going all the way. So then on the Saturday, we've talked about Rangers and Hibs, but up at Pittodrie, there's another one, isn't there? Because if Jimmy Tilleen loses that at home against Motherwell, I'm not sure how long he's got. We could have 2 managerial vacancies by Saturday night.
Yeah, I think when you look at the amount of money that Aberdeen have spent over the course of Jimmy Tilleen's reign at Aberdeen, I don't think there's been an Aberdeen manager backed as much in their history in terms of finance. I think that the money they've spent. Yeah, they've just signed 3 international players. You know, Carlson, Armstrong, Nisbet. You know, you're paying £1 million fees for players. I think he's been incredibly well backed with Dave Cormack and everyone at Aberdeen, and they will not want to see fruits of that. And I think they're still basking in the glow of the Scottish Cup win, but that can only last so long. I think 5 wins in the last 31 league games for Jimmy Tilleen.
Really bad.
That's grim. That's grim reading for a club the size of Aberdeen. So, no, I agree with you. I think if Motherwell got there and turned them over, I think he's under serious pressure.
And I like Motherwell for what I've seen of them this season, Mick. I mean, they're managing to do what Russell Martin's trying to do in terms of that progressive playing out from the back, bit high risk strategy with the way they move the ball out. But they're just implementing it far better than Rangers have managed to implement it. This is what I think Russell Martin was trying to do. Motherwell are doing it. The only thing they're lacking is probably a striker.
Yeah, weirdly, Motherwell results are quite similar to Rangers results. A lot of draws in there as well. They haven't quite managed to kind of get the results that maybe I think some of them the players deserve. They have been good. Fair play to them. It's I think the punters are all on board. Motherwell. I mean, I think they're all pretty happy with their season so far. Aberdeen, let's be honest, they've stunk the place out for a long time now. Yeah. I mean, the talk in the Scottish Cup final was how many? I think they'd lost 19 goals in 5 games against Celtic. I think we all thought it was going to be a turkey shoot. They somehow managed to kind of, I mean, they don't want to say fluke it because they put a lot of effort and it was really organised. But let's be honest, it was a bit of a kind of freak, really.
I totally changed his game plan for it as well.
Yeah, completely changed his way he played it. They kind of played for penalty kicks from early on. They managed to get a goal. Listen, fair play to him. He done it. He got the cup, and it was a great do. And they'll never be forgotten. He'll never struggle for a pint in Aberdeen. But the league, I mean, like Tam mentioned, there 5 wins in 31 games. That's relegation for him. They can't score a goal. I mean, you got to think it will get better because Nisbet will get back up to speed. You've got Armstrong in there. You think Carlson will be a creator. So yeah, I think they will get a chance to take. I thought they were a wee bit better against Livingston last weekend. There were signs that they were a wee bit better. Still never scored a goal.
No.
So they need to get a
and that's going to be, I don't think that's going to be a great environment there either. Mark, by the way, is asking, Michael, do you need a shilling for the meter, mate?
This is my best light, actually, boy. This is making you look looking better with the setting here.
By the way, that's the sort of sight that we keep you up at nights. Imagine Mick Gannon coming at you in the dark.
It's mood light.
Right, and then obviously end it all off Sunday afternoon, Partick Thistle v Celtic. I think that looks like a straightforward one for Celtic, as we discussed earlier, guys. And then you're looking at the prospect of Brendan Rodgers getting one step closer back to Hampden, looking at nailing down the first trophy of the season, and the prospect that Mick said earlier of potentially going for a treble this season, and then Mick drop and walk away at the end of it.
Yep, that'll be a target, I think, for Brendan. I think that'll be what he wants to do. I think he'll want to go out in a high at Celtic. He'll want to go out with stock high. Obviously, getting to the knockout stages last season in the Champions League, running Bayern Munich incredibly close. Now he's not really been back in the transfer window, and I think there's less pressure on Brendan Rodgers this season than there's ever been. I think that the Celtic supporters are looking at the board and going, well, if we don't win the treble, don't win the league, well, it was the board's fault, it wasn't Brendan's fault. They never backed him. So I think he's not got a free hit, so to speak, but a wee bit of pressure off him, I think. So yeah, I would expect Celtic to go and beat Partick Thistle comfortably, and if Hibs beat Rangers, then Celtic will be heavy odds on to win the first trophy of the season.